Hey, thank you so much for being one of my patrons. I really appreciate your support, and I am just blown away by how much you've been doing for me. Because you're supporting me at the level that you are, one of my promises for you was I was going to give you a little bit of a behind-the-scenes look at where I film and how I do it and what I do. So here's that for you. Hope you enjoy getting a look at where I work and how I do it. So most of my filming I actually do here at my church. That's actually my beautiful vehicle. Gets me around. But this little building here in Crane, Missouri is actually where I do most of my filming. I'll give you a little bit of a look. Now, of course, if you're in the area, we're in southwest Missouri, about an hour north of Arkansas. You are always welcome to stop in here. We'd love to have you. And as you walk into the little place, my office, which you will recognize probably in a hurry, is right there inside the door. You can see my books there. They're kind of a mess at the moment because I've been doing some other work. Yeah, filming isn't the only stuff I do in this office. I've got the church work as well. But typically I have the camera position there. I may bring in another light or two, depending upon how the light outside is at the time and what's going on. And then when I'm filming, excuse a little bit of a mess. Hey, it's an office. I actually use that little TV right there as my monitor, and I will plug that into my camera. And that way I can see what I'm doing and, you know, be able to make sure I've got everything focused and centered. And then typically what I will do is I will actually pull that chair there out and stick it out into the middle of the room, and then I stand right about where that chair is. If I've got a script that I'm trying to read, I'll be reading it off that monitor right there, because my computer's kind of hiding down there. I'll also put the microphones up on the desk, and that's how you can pick up the sound. Now, you've seen some of my stuff, so you can see a lot of the books. I'll give you a little better look at some of them there. But there's actually a lot more in here as well, because I do have a few others that are way down on that bottom shelf there. And then you get into my file cabinets. Now, this particular cabinet, it's covered with magnets from parks and places I've been. That's one of the things I collect. You can see that I have a few things there that are to be filed. This cabinet, though, for the most part, is actually church office stuff. My personal stuff is in this one, which, again, a lot more magnets. Last time I counted, I think I have about 150 magnets there, something like that. And then all of this is all different park brochures, maps, different things I have picked up along the way. And you never know what you're going to find in here. You may find old Disney tickets. And it's all attempted to be classified and organized by alphabetical order from it. The second drawer is mostly the same. Third drawer, telecasts, and then all sorts of other stuff, including a few other personal things. Old season passes from different parks I've been to. And all sorts of, yes, letters actually from my wife and I when we were dating are in that slot right there. Woo! And then the bottom drawer is all sorts of other stuff that doesn't really fit into things, and there's big letters and roller coaster parts, and then I've got this box. That's a nice mess. You see some of the shirts that I've worn for a couple of my videos there, which I keep around for props, but there's also park maps. This is all Silver Dollar City maps I haven't filed yet, and all sorts of other stuff down there. See, I got lots of park stuff here. And then there is this box that's hiding right over here. That is all my old eyes and ears, and I need to get a good place for that. But you can kind of see a little bit how it looks for me. So I'll stand here right now. That's about eye height for me. And that's my view as I'm filming. And I've got the camera there. I'll have the audio recorders sitting there on my desk. And then I can look out and see my monitor there on the bottom. There. Ugh. Now, let me show you the rest of where I work. Because if I come out and into the sanctuary, there is actually another room that I work in as well. And you can see it's not a real big church, so we kind of make do. God's blessed us and taken care of us in ways we wouldn't have imagined. But if you saw my very first videos, the very first 3 or so, I actually filmed in this little dinky room right here. That's actually the doorway into our baptistry. And it is a small room. I'm going to go backwards here just so you can see where I came from. That's where I did my first 3. Happily, I set up a new set in the office. This is our fellowship hall, and that is my green screen. So you can see why when people say, oh, just throw out some egg crates and other things to fix the sound, I kind of laugh, because this is our fellowship hall. It's a part of the church, and there's no way I can do things like that. Almost have my lighting positioning down. They're not quite in the exact order right now, but you can see the reflector and then the 2 others. The chair is what I'm planning to use to sit in. The little stool there will actually have my microphone, my H1 Zoom on there, and then I'll have the TV monitor and the camera sitting right about where the end of that table is. And that is where I'm going to be doing my green screen filming. It's the only room really in this whole place big enough. I was trying to set it up in this little Sunday school room here, and I actually had the red that I was going to use as another backdrop. We had the green screen sitting on that wall originally, and it just plain didn't work. Not enough room to be able to get the lights out there. But you can see the rest of it's kind of used for storage. So that's where I do my filming, is here in the fellowship hall, and then in my office. And that's pretty much how I get everything done here. When I'm done filming here, I then head out into that wonderful looking little car that you saw out there and load up, and I drive over to my house. And my house is actually where my computer is, that I do all of the actual editing and all the post work, which can make it very frustrating sometimes if my green screen or other filming doesn't work out and I don't realize it till I get home and then have to come back and redo it all over again. The driving back and forth can be frustrating. So one of these years, I'll get a house that's actually big enough to have a real studio in. So let's head over that way, and I'll show you my house next and where I do the post-processing, the post and editing work. So then, after I'm done at the church, I come home. You can see my dog Ginger sitting there. Hi, Ginger. Gonna wave? She doesn't look real impressed. And this is my actual workstation for the editing. You can see my nice, neat desk. Ha! You can see that I use Sony Vegas, which is actually processing my newest video right now. And then, of course, I got YouTube and everything else on there. I don't know how I do it without 2 screens. I'm so grateful for that. Computer itself is actually sitting there on the floor. There you go. And you can see I got my snacks, my Zoom H1, which I'm still learning how to use, and everything else I need is right there. And that's pretty much where I do most of the actual post work, the processing, where I'm learning how to do everything else. It's kind of my little corner here. We joke that this is my office at home, and you can see it's got its definite mess in there. But I'm not too very far away from all the Disney videos and other things we have, so if you kind of want to know what some of my interests are, yes, you can see the Lord of the Rings collection in there. Love the Lord of the Rings movies. Hated The Hobbit. Peter Jackson just messed that up so bad. I'm a traditionalist there. And, of course, some of the other stuff that I've got nearby. You can see a few of my cups. I actually have a huge case, a big box that's probably about 2.5, 3 feet high and 2 feet by 2 feet square, otherwise just full of souvenir cups. The funny-looking hat there is actually from an exchange student that we were blessed to be able to help from Ukraine. And she gave that to me as a gift, so I treasure that. And gives you a little bit of an idea of my workspace there. Other thing that I do is a little hard to see down there, but that's actually all sorts of genealogy references and other things. I do a lot of work on the family tree. I'm a history major, actually, as far as college goes. And so that is my workstation. That's where I come running to. I wish I had it over at the church, because it would save me a whole lot of running, but unfortunately that doesn't happen. And since the church is basically the only place we have room for our studio, the house only has 3 bedrooms and they're small. You know, but we make do with what we got. It's amateur. I'm happy with it. And I've been very blessed to be able to do that. So there's a little look at my areas and where I work and how I put it all together. Gives you a little bit of an idea of what I've got and what I don't have, and how I do what I do. Hope you enjoyed this little behind-the-scenes look, and thanks so much for joining me for it. Thank you again very much, too, for your patronage. I really appreciate it. I'm blown away every time I see somebody else sign on new and everything go through, so I'm so grateful for your support that way. Thank you so very, very much.